All right, before we get it in, much love to Raw Natural Unrefined Hemp Rolling Papers. Go check them out at www.rawthenic.com. Made in Alcoy, Spain, raw rolling papers are unbleached and unrefined with absolutely no dyes, no chalks, and no burning additives so that you can taste the true quality of the product you're smoking on. I know, I'm guilty of it too, but stop it with the blunt wraps and the low-quality papers. Start treating your lungs to the best rolling paper on the market. So go peep out their wide variety of papers, cones, tips, trays, accessories, limited edition collectibles, and a shit ton more at www.rawthenic.com. That's rawthenitic.com. Also, big shout outs to Small Town Recovery and Consulting. For all your business consulting needs, make sure you check them out at www.smalltownrecovery.com, or you can give them a call at 702-293-1010. Also, don't forget to check out bombgreen.com. That's BOMGREEN.com. All right, let's get it going. Well, shit. What up, Hip Hop Roots Podcast? It's our last episode of the year, y'all. I can't believe it's freaking flying by that goddamn quick. Hit us up. Voicemail line, text line's always open, 775-538-6350. Interested in being a guest, want to advertise your brand? Hit us up on the email, hiphoprootspodcast@gmail.com. Make sure you like the videos, subscribe, share them with your people. Let's build them numbers. They're climbing slowly, guys. You know this platform is for you, so the higher the numbers, the better for you guys.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. Today, my guest, man, this man right here, long time friend. This guy's done a lot for me. MC, B-boy, entrepreneur, part of the Knucklehead Zoo, member of Campfire Music, amongst many, many, many other things. My dude,
Man.
Art Saenz. How you feeling, brother?
I'm great, man. I'm great. It's like, it's good to be in a headspace where like happiness surrounds you, positivity.
Good.
You know what I'm saying? After you're able to grow from your own misfortunes, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, earlier this year I got off probation, I launched the podcast, I started the branding, and focusing on myself with that health wise, spiritually, mentally. My girl helps me out a lot with just staying positive and happy. You know what I'm saying? Reminding me that I'm allowed to be happy, because I've had such a hard life, and I struggled as a child, and then I reached success and fell from the success, and you have so many turmoils in life as you get older that you forget that you do deserve happiness at some point of the road. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And cheers to being happy.
That's right, man. Shit. Well, I mean, you've been a busy man. I was gonna say to even start.
Yeah.
I mean, Smoke With Your Boy podcast. You guys are well over 100 episodes deep in your second season.
125 this last Friday. Yeah,
doing it big though. I mean, you guys are climbing in same thing in numbers, subscribers, viewers, everything.
I'm trying to build. Something. I got a nice little team with me, and we're developing content consistently. It's just weird because it started off with me trying to do a talk show. It's kind of something like this or whatever, but just production, full set, going to established content creators, growers, like I just had various things. Like my first one I sat down with was Honey Badger. Went to their headquarters, had a great interview with Brian, and we just chopped out a bunch of like clips and everything, and I edited a full interview. The homie had a production deal with this like weed tube type of company, and he was talking about doing a real talk show, full production. So I got the homie to come in, Tommy Lynn. He's a DJ at Blue Martini.
Nice.
Monday through Thursday and stuff. All of those lit, retrospect, Latin night, all of that. He's up in there and stuff. Big shout out to him. He shot all my content, and we edited it, put it together and everything. And then it goes to find out that the podcast or the platform doesn't launch for like another year and a half or something like that and everything. So I already invested money in this, efforts and stuff, and I thought this was going to be getting off probation. This was going to be my thing. I did the Ratchet Olympics again. I brought back a couple other events. and then it didn't end up panning out. But to help promote the idea of the talk show, I started a podcast.
Okay.
And just started playing music videos in the background.
Yeah, as I see, I like your format's a little different than like a podcast, really, like any typical podcast. It's like you said, it's not like the radio show and sitting down and shot. I mean, you do a little of that sometimes, but
Yeah, I got a guest here and there, but
you know, you're reviewing the battles, you're reviewing the b-boys, the music,
MC.
the new videos out. I mean, you're even bringing some of these guys in and chopping it up about, you know. So I definitely dig the format on it. You know what I mean? It's
and
watchable.
That's what, and that the format came from just needing to figure out a content format, right? But then realizing, like, at that time I've already edited, like, if you come from my era, so we printed up CDs for $1.25 or something for 1,000, turn around, sell 1,000 of those for $5, $10. What's the math? You take that money, you reinvest into yourself. And we consistently were doing that for such a time that now that you couldn't do that, we invested that money in music videos, but there was no platforms. We just wanted to look cool, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got a music video back in, was that '09 with in front of a Lambo, and on the strip, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, before that, I got videos in '06.
That one in front of Aloha Kitchen.
Yeah. So it's like one of those things. I never had a platform to put that on. Nobody knew about that. And then finally the YouTube era comes, and now everybody posts a video, but then all you're doing is tagging it on social media. It's not getting you nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're getting very minimal views and stuff. You're not developing an audience with that. And that's where kind of like the frustration of investing so much money in music videos and seeing this frustration on other artists and watching them spend their money improperly, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to create a platform for that, and that's why I consistently was kicking out the music video thing. And honestly, artists, they took to it. They dropped their videos. They respect my opinion. And anytime I've ever been challenged in it, I play one of my songs. I'll be like, drop a beat. Somebody drops a beat there, I rhyme live. Like, just because I ain't no slouch as a songwriter, MC. I mean, I got an album with a Grammy Award winner. I just recorded a single with him that's gonna be my single coming this year. That's so fire. I'll give you a little listen to it later.
Skip Martin.
Yeah.
Shout outs to him for sure. I read up on a bunch of that. That's fucking super dope. You know, I don't know. I dig the podcast. That's why, like, you know, even when as soon as the opportunity came about having you on the and then it fell in, like, you know what I was thinking about. I was going, man, last episode of the year, that'd be genius, because you know perfect. You've been killing the year for sure.
Yeah,
you know
I had a great year. The rebrand. Shout out to Joe Budden. There's a lot of great rebrands this year. Meek Mill had a great rebrand.
Yeah, Joe Budden, shout out to him, because he's
put me onto the podcast game, really. Like that, and just being charismatically honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with his boys on his podcast, right? Like, he's like, oh, y'all ain't gonna cry. Y'all don't do, like, y'all ain't a real man. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's not like, it's just the front end aspect of, like, oh, you're too cool for this. It has become such a malarkey. Such a
malarkey, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
For sure.
I'm slipping right now, but it has just been such a thing that, like, God.
It's the dabs and the blunt.
Yeah. We'll just move on from that.
You're good.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but I fucking still dig it.
Because my brain will work like that, right? Like, I'll have one inclination of a thought, and it'll get stuck in there until it finds, and I'll still be operating like when I edit. Like, you do the same thing I do. We edit, we rap, we're online personalities, marketing directors, promoters, right? And it's like, I'll be literally editing a music video, making a post, watching a video on my other TV, playing something off the Xbox or whatever, like so deep in it, like House of Cards or something, you know what I'm saying? Something complex. And I got like 3 or 4 things going on, and one thing will just happen, smoke too much, and I'll be like, fuck, what was I doing?
Yeah, everything stops.
Like, like that's why I had one of those moments right now.
I go through those.
I was like,
sure.
I was remembering some old moments and shit like that.
I always say my brain goes faster than I can, like, come out of my mouth or my body. Yeah, it's just like, have to stop a minute and be like, all right, what the fuck's going on? What's the next step? It's crazy.
But Music's, but like I was saying with music and Skip, music's been growing really good. I haven't had like the ambition to really put out a project or nothing. I told my friends last year when I dropped Nowadays, that was a beautiful thing to be able to do. I pushed the whole summer independently myself, got my music video up to 1,000 views, 7,000 views. I'm sorry. I got 1,000 streams on one of them bank or down 1,000 downloads. I'm sorry, on Bandcamp. Just pushed it independently myself through shares, getting in people's inboxes, emailing it. I got it on a couple of these other channels that like blog sites and stuff for the music video to get those views up and stuff. But it was my opportunity because it was my first original digital release, like straight digital release, right? So it was my first opportunity to learn the game. Because coming back, like I was saying, from doing the CDs, and then you reinvest into all of those things, merchandising. I had those support hip hop shirts, real hip hop shirts. I was always innovating on merchandising, and then when things fell apart for me with my music and the Texas situation and everything like that, I was going to a LAN party. It's like a gamer
I was going to bring that up because
right?
I was going to say, you said you had the feature with the Grammy Award winner. You've got that single with the album. So you've got 3 other mixtapes you put out. And one solo LP. So then you said, but on top of that, you've got like 2 other projects or something that are kind of tied up because of the Texas thing.
All of that, like now all of that's done.
Okay.
But what happened with that situation was I had a management company and I was sponsored by Truth, the anti-smoking cigarette campaign. Right? So we had a deal with them, match a dollar for dollar marketing deal where it's like if whatever we raise, they're gonna do on a national campaign. So I would have had a full tour, all this other shit, right? And in between that, I had previous obligations that I was planning to do, like a LAN party with my friends. I played World of Warcraft competitively with a bunch of people, and we would do what's it called, like group meetings and shit like that. So we traveled to Texas, bunch of us all from all over the world and shit. And we were driving out to that. I got pulled over. They threw the book at me. 7 years probation.
Texas is the worst.
$31,000 for everything though. That's like me driving out there for the second time, paying every bit of dollar I calculated. You know what I'm saying? And that's everything from the point they put me on probation. So then on top of it, they charge you the supervision fees, the transferring fees, and all this. It's an extra couple of thousand that I paid over the last 7 years. 7 years. Yeah. So that was, you got to think
Texas,
about that.
Man,
that was like I was 28. So I'm 30. I was 36 when I got off. Went through that for a year. So that would have been like I got on 2010-ish.
Man.
And or I went through it 2010-ish, got on 2011 or whatever. So they let me off 2018. That's how it goes. So what's it called? You got to think like pinnacle point of my career, and now what do? I come back here, I start working the promotions again full-time on the Strip with different peoples. I launched at New Sanctuary in Town Square. I launched I think it was called Playdate and Funkin' House it was b-boy competitions. I mean, prior to that though, I was already doing so many b-boy competitions, from like Top of the Voodoo Lounge, Palms, fucking numerous other clubs that were like on the Strip, Revolution. We were just affiliated with all kinds of different spots. Like I was one of the few artists that transcended beyond just the rap scene that I helped develop, you know, going as far back as Sunday Schooling or something of that nature, you know, like even watching your guys' scene, how we were talking about generations, and those develop, like those were always just a small portion, because then there's the Asian community with like Tines, Tunai, that's like Waterhole Kingdom, Hayes, and like Case of the Classics, and like they had their own genre, but they did like more nightlife stuff. It was more b-boy oriented. They had more dance stuff, and being part of Knucklehead Zoo gave me a pass. So then between those two, and then on top of it, there's the nightlife club scene, where it's the DJs. And now the DJs out here, you know, most of them, they're all familiar. They're famous almost. You know what I'm saying? They all have good money. Like, but back then they were there was no name for them. They would like
There was no place for them. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. You open up the venue and you get no club love. Now they love you. That you get your homeboys get club love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. So I was able to flow between the different genres there, and then the street scene, obviously, like with Twix's community over there with so there's so many different artists out of that Tay Price and all of them and everything, like this Hood Scent. Remember when so getting back to New Sanctuary in that era of 2012 and starting the Probation, coming back and doing that promotion, launching Daddy Max.
Yeah.
We're bringing headliners every week. I plug Doug with Hood Scent. Hood Scent's now running the Friday, Saturday shit. So we got the street popping. I mean, they booked Dizzy Wright on one of my Sundays before he even had his own music. You know what I'm saying? Like these venues that, like, from Sunday school and to hip hop roots to Daddy Max, Spit Sundays, or any other, like, even when we started taking over the downtown bar scene, and you guys had the LVCS, we had Beauty Bar, there was a few
and then
others,
they even started,
like,
they were growing at that point, so now there started being more venues growing.
all of those venues harbored artists, at least 15 to 20, and out of those 15 to 20 from every year that I labeled, like, there's still at least a good 5 still pushing today.
Yeah.
If not 10, for depending on the year.
Human experience. Back. I mean, and that was good them too, because they separated a lot of us too. You know what I mean? Because they had the whole poet. It was.
I mean, their core development of what the downtown art bar scene is now, like, all of the, like, their hitters were little kids in the background watching some of the artists like Coco develop, like Doo-Wop bringing her talents with Miss Joy and
Jabs,
Jabs is one. He came into your guys' realm and started developing his name.
Yeah,
as an
we'll
MC.
have him on here in a couple weeks. Yeah.
Oh, word. That's
for sure. He didn't want to. And I said, bro, you got so much to talk about, Doug, and he's got another little baby and.
That's one thing that
always living the dream right now. That guy.
That's always a beautiful thing right there. Like, seeing now in today's generations, their kids. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Could be 18.
For sure.
Like the zoo, having our Zoo Logic, we have kids ranging from the ages of 4 to 5 now, like, of our own crew, to having actually parents giving us, here's my 6-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Now 5-10 years later, now they're
hitting the open
flying
mics
to France. You know what I'm saying? To compete.
That's awesome, bro.
The United States of America. You know what I'm saying? Awesome. In a world competition. And you came from Las Vegas. You're cut from the same cloth as the zoo. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wear it on my arm proudly and everything.
As you should.
And it's like, this city harbored that, though. Like, it grew that, it raised that, and now we're able to create a transition, like, traditions, and help these kids transition into, like, professional hip hoppers. You know what I'm saying? Like it's beautiful. Like, there's people like Cricket. It just reminded me. She's a fashionista and vlogger, and I admire her online prowess, and she taught me a lot just watching how she moves in creating content. You know what I'm saying? I was learning the podcast game, learning from, like, the Joe Rogans, Joe Buttons, you know, Joey Diaz. Is even watching him. He's a good one to watch, because it's like you're seeing him learn the game at the top level, because he wasn't a professional podcaster. He still admits it, like, I'm rough around the edges.
Yeah, well, and I'm trying to remember who I was telling that. Oh, G-Kid, because, it was 97.5 and all that. And I told him, I said, that was my big goal with this. I'm not a fucking broadcaster. I'm not trying to put on a voice. I'm not trying to do anything. I want it to be the kick it, Sunday. That's what I told him. Hey, it's hip hop roots bomb green. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing that. I will
say, though, you do got a good little announcer voice at the beginning of the show.
Right. Little commercials. Yeah. Shout outs to Raw. But yeah, it's to bring it back to Daddy Max. We just had, for the Christmas episode, we had my boy Bobby Wayne Stotts, comedian, in here.
Okay.
Spit Sundays, actually, and that's what we were just talking about. You put me and him on stage for the first time as solo artist, as me as a solo artist, and him as a comedian. Yeah. And he was, and shout outs. I mean, always, I had sent you a message way back, and I appreciate that, because you really
set the ground for me to start hitting the open
Developing
mics and all that
yourself,
kind
yeah.
of stuff. You know what I mean? And really, that was how I found hip hop roots, and that was just
Yeah,
the birth of everything. You know what I mean? But same thing with him. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't even know that, you know, the whole thought of doing comedy, because he's a funny motherfucker, and like, you know, it sounded good, and
yeah.
you know, letting him touch the mic and realize that it was
Confidence, man.
and that's what it was. That was, he said, you know, he even says that's that turn that, and you know, he did a open mic at Orleans back in the day. It was called like Fat Al's or something, Big Al's. But those were the 2 points that he said, you know what, that's when it was either fuck this shit or you know, this is what I want to do. And from that point, I mean, now that he's doing 500 plus shows a year, he's doing the Stratosphere, Tropicana,
awesome.
Hooters, SLS. I mean,
That's
it's
what I'm talking about. Fuck
and this
with
is
the
what I
guy.
love. This is what I love. You know what I mean? This is what it's about.
No, it's just funny because as you're saying that, I was thinking about, like, it's such a different era of me, but I've always tried to build encouragement. Like when it first with the Sunday schooling, it was like I got the opportunity to do the booking, and I first major show I did was myself, MOS, which was Mystery Brains, Omni, and Samson, which made up a large portion of Campfire
I was to
Music,
say that was
and then Isaac Sawyer, right? And me and Isaac Sawyer go back to high school. Just about everybody on that list right there go back to high school, and it's funny because Isaac gave that same lineup. And it was supposed to be me and Isaac to do a show at the library, and that would have been officially my first show, but I had no material, and there was no way on earth I would rap over my lyrics. So I wasn't going to play the songs that were recorded, and that's what they heard, and that's why they wanted me to rap at the show, right? But I was like, I don't have no instrumentals and stuff. It wasn't access to a studio like that. Like, so what's it called? I was like, nah, but they all had their own material. And this is something different because I was recording with Fug Nasty at the time, and they had their own material, their own studio and everything. So I was like, yo, y'all should do this show. Y'all should do this show. And I got brains to get up there, do this thing. All of them did their performance and stuff. And I know almost all their material by heart because that's one thing. When I'm a fan of you, I learn your stuff. You can see it on the show because I rap along with the lyrics to the songs playing.
I've seen you.
Like, but it's cool because that first show, I got to replay that favor first off to Isaac, but then at the same time, I knew what I was bringing as far as these guys are the best in the city, like just being hype off the scene, right? And not the scene never seeing this, because at this point, it was only like old school heads and then people we went to high school with. So, I mean, people that were older than us that are like now they're 45, 40, you know what I'm saying, coming out to this hip hop show, and then people we went to high school with that are now 36 and stuff, right? So we're freshly 21. Like Samson wasn't even 21. You know what I'm saying? And we're doing this show.
You still don't even look 21.
Yeah. Yeah.
That guy found the fountain or something. I don't know
what's
going
he
on.
Found the fountain, right?
That hairline ain't moved, nothing.
Nothing. Still long, luxurious locks. I see him on the gram. So doing that and returning the favor to Isaac, we rocking the show. It was just like really impactful for the scene. And being like, yo, there's this new dope hip hop from the east side. And you know what I'm saying? Isaac's abstract. Everybody already knew who Isaac was, but nobody seen him perform. Mm. So it was like, because his father was an old school DJ out here in the 80s. And like, he grew up a hip hop kid. He was in the B-boy ciphers at the park jams. Like, so there's just so much fountain of hip hop in him that it's like, he had his own following. It was already in the North, Decatur and Lake Mead. Yeah. You know, so it was like kind of one of those things where it was a perfect accumulative nucleus, and it was that big show. And then a couple weeks later, Presto booked Q Unique. He stacked it with Samson, a couple others that are in the scene that were blowing up, and it was just like a big show. And that was like the first time we seen 150 people came out to a local hip hop show. Like, for real, like you came out to see us rap, like, you know what I'm saying? And it was one of those moments where from there it just snowballed to, like, you know, 300 people over there, you know what I'm saying? And like, it was a regular thing for Sunday school and to develop that way. But it got so bad to the point where like everybody, and it was the era where everybody wanted to rap. Mm-hmm. So it got so bad to the era where I would be Patron drunk, put my chair down. Now, I might have booked the show, but I didn't book every artist. Like, it's so-and-so's homeboy. He wants a shot.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. So my drunk ass would fucking put the chair there, and I'm sloshed, rolling a fucking blunt, fucking booing people. Just like so mean. Like, Def tells me this story and everything like 10, 15 years later, and I'm just like, Naked City, the Professor Def, it tells me, and I'm just like, I feel so bad because that was just a different era then. But I know I learned from those mistakes because as I spiraled down and more negative shit happened to me because of all that shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, I mean, I get to meet you guys in a newer era of myself 4 years later because that's like 06 by the end of that. Then I do art. Then I start moving to from 03 to 06 would be like Sunday schooling era. First Friday era's 06 to like 09-ish, and that's when your guys' era starts coming into a play, and then you guys get your dominance a little further, like towards 10, 11 and stuff, right? No, you'd be 12, 13-ish.
Yeah.
Or 13 into 14.
13 into 14.
Okay.
Maybe 12 to 13.
Oh, it was little beauty bars because it was like First Friday stuff started moving into the downtown bar area and stuff like that. Arts district moving down there. But then we took it all the way south by going to Town Square and going to Daddy Mac's.
Yeah.
And then we had it down there for a good minute, and then we bounced back to Beauty Bar. But each one of those had an era. Like, it was like the art bar was part of the art scene. I had my own bar that was named after me. And I ran that motherfucker. Right. Vegas Nights was the event that I did. From there, it would move to the Daddy Mac stuff, and then you guys getting it with the hip hop roots. But then when you guys moved from, what was it, Boomers to, was there one more before Boomers?
Bunkhouse. Yeah, that was where it started, was Bunkhouse.
Okay, so then Bunkhouse. Yeah, because Macrofy had the plug through the same thing they do through Naked City. Shout out to... Oh, I'm bad. I wanted to say Turtle, but it's not Tim Turtle. It's what the fuck is his name now? The old guy that used to own the Bunkhouse.
From Bunkhouse.
And then he moved it to. Then he owns all of the Naked City shit.
Talking about. Yeah, I'm farting out.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I'm usually
too
really
many people.
Too many, man. Like, I'll run through a whole chain of like the whole history of Vegas's hip hop because I've been seeing it. And I'm sorry if I forget any other people's part. I'm not saying that you're not part of hip hop in Las Vegas. I'm just saying what I was doing.
Yeah.
And everybody I moved with was hip hop, and they developed their own brands. And the beautiful thing about everything, like these stickers on the table, like they represent somebody's history, a lineage, paths crossed and designed.
Somewhere
that's why there's so much. That's why there's so much pride in the respect of knowing what happened here. On top of that's what gives you the credibility to speak and you accomplish something. Like, you be here for 5 years and then be opinionated and be very stern in your opinions. But you have to be open-minded and flexible until you've established yourself. You can't intend to think that everybody's going to know, like, or respect what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if you do have a little bit of respect, the way you gain more of that is by being more accepting to everybody else and respectful. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
If somebody else is over opinionated to you, don't attack them. Let them have their shit. Let them get G off if they need to, because it's only going to make you look bad as a younger artist. That if you try to argue with somebody else that maybe has a name or maybe has interacted. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's real talk though. But
I be rambling and shit.
Nah, shit. That's how it works. So, but you know what? I do want to spotlight the podcast a little bit. I want to talk about it a little bit beforehand. You started Smoke With Your Boy podcast in May of this year, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so it's like I said, you're well over 100 episodes deep at this point.
Yep.
Monday through Friday.
Yep.
Well, I know it was about noonish or something. Yeah, I know.
It's been like 1 to 2 lately because just prep in the show now is just so much more work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, it's
And I like to go to boxing.
and the best thing is too is you don't have to watch it live. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
it's there. So I
Yeah,
mean, even
audio
if,
platform on Mixcloud. Check that out. Mixcloud.com/Art Saenz. That's ARTSAENZ.
there you go. And you do spot. I mean, you're obviously spotlighting videos. You're spotlighting battles. You're spotlighting these
Yeah.
b-boy stuff. I've seen you have people on here and there. So I mean,
Yeah,
is there
I started with doing the exclusives, and I did a piece on Harvey Listen. I'm a big fan of him. And during that time, what's it called? I started like building with him as a person and shit. And I was like, man, I should really have a guest. And at that time, Jesse was trying to get me to get guests. And I was thinking about it, but I didn't want nobody in my house. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to deal with people.
Yeah, I
I
understand
don't even
that.
really like people in general. But I'm like, you know, the weird antisocial, but I throw parties and shit. You know what
You're
I'm saying?
good at it.
Yeah. So it's like I just finally, like, through just meeting him 2 or 3 times, like, we talked and shit, and I was like, oh, you're kind of weird too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have a little antisocial, like, you do idiosyncrasies as well. So I was like, all right, cool, come through. He's like, all right, so he comes through. We just automatically vibe or whatever. We throw on the camera and shit. He's like an open wound. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a real genuine person. And I was like, that made me want to have real guests. Because I've had
Yeah.
homies there the whole time I started.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
Kinetic, a few other people through my circle. I have different people that are in my community that I like, actually in my housing community and shit.
Yeah,
that I
yeah,
fuck
yeah.
with, that don't fuck with hip hop and shit. And they'll be in the background and smoking and chilling and shit. I have a couple clients who'll come in and just watch the show and
Yeah,
shit.
hell yeah.
But what's it called? Overall ones, it's like I never wanted to guess and do interviews and all that. But his energy was just so cool. So then after that, I set up a lineup to do my best homie, and then the big homie, Paulie Mac, hit me. So it was like
Shout
Diz.
outs.
Yeah. So the homie Diz, what's it called? He wrote a song in the 90s called Burn in a group called Militia. It's a West Coast classic. It sold like 300,000. And from there, he's done a lot of other shit. He has songs with like E40 and Scarface and shit like that. He's like a Stockton legend.
Hell yeah.
And it's like big homie, best friend and everything. And he came in and sat down. He has his company. He makes extracts. He teaches me things here and there about cooking and stuff. He's a chef. And then I had the big homie, Paulie Mac. He just hit me up directly like, yo, what are you doing today? I want to do a show. I'm like, got you. Let's go. Come through. So he comes over and we just talk. He loves my dog. Dog's chilling in the video. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He starts pushing his boards. He does little weed rolling boards and shit. Classic one-offs and shit. They're kind of pricey, but it's exclusive, really things. I gave him some vinyl pieces vinyl covers.
Yeah.
So you can do what's it called? Something with the covers, because the vinyls were destroyed.
Yeah.
But then who else did I did? Oh, then I set up a week. I did a week of 5 guests, and I had the homie Indica, because he was part of the outro song for my show.
Yeah.
The City Nights. So I had him. And then I had the homie Chrome from Campfire. He does Sports Talk Raw Radio. And it was like my first collabo, I think. Because then after that, I did the Blend podcast. Shout out to Phoenix Orion. And who else? I had Reese Darko. She runs a little poetry thing. It's kind of like, because Human Experience just recently canceled their show after 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years strong.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a alumnus of that. I'm a big fan. Been there forever. Oh, one venue back in the day I wanted to shout out. Sorry, I know this is random, but Black Book Sessions.
Oh man,
during
big
that
time.
period in time where I was like, it was a little slow. There was just other venues. That was one that held hip hop down for sure.
For sure,
man.
that's
Shout out
definitely
the
a
Chapter
pillar
crew.
for sure.
Yeah. So back to present day. What was I saying?
About the podcast, you don't remember?
Something about
You got
my
the honey
podcast.
badger cracking, huh?
Yeah. So one of my sponsors, I'm really great with my segues because you got to be able to do that. Just bounce back. So one of my sponsors right here is the Honey Badger. It's the automated dab rig. Comes with a globe, teamed up with Nectar Collector. Smartest business collabo since fucking Coke and Pepsi. Like, I don't know. Some type of shit like that.
So get you one.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, they, instead of competing, because if you know what a Nectar Collector is, it has a little
preheat
metal
the tip, yeah.
It has a metal tip, and you preheat the tip, and then you go around, right? And because that's the closest thing to this, the vape machine with a ceramic tip that burns 500 Kelvin, you just do this.
Get that perfect tip. That perfect tip. No torch needed, baby.
No torch needed. Watch out. Watch your fingers.
I love it.
You don't have to touch the button. When it turns off, you hit it 5 times. I think it turned off. Yeah.
So hit 5.
Yep. Boom.
Oh.
You give it a little second to warm up. Shouldn't need too long because it was just on. Boom. That simple. So when they like came to each other basically at this point and was like, yo, I'd rather do a collabo with you than compete with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they did that, and now they've been destroying the game. They were on Vice with 2 Chainz for most expensive rigs.
Super dope.
You know what I'm saying? Like the rig so that Nectar Collector kicks out. Shout out to them, man. They hooked me up. I broke one of mine on the show.
Yeah.
And they sent me an IG message during my show, and I had
awesome.
The reaction.
I love
video.
Nectar Collector. They're good people and shit. And they got good product for sure.
Yeah, facts.
But you know what? Let's get people up to date. I know we've been talking about this podcast for a hot minute and shit, but not only are we going to review, let you know kind of a little bit what was going on with Smoke With Your Boy this year. It's kind of a year in recap in hip hop, so peep game real quick.
Hey, that's a fire song. So when you go back on like,
what do you mean, like
what you come up doing music? You just found it.
my dad was just like, your typical fucking incredibly talented drug addict.
We about to get lit. Super James Flamingo, go for it. What up?
It's the Smoke With Your Boy podcast. Art Science, beautiful assistant. We're making butter today.
Smoke with your boy.
So I do this podcast, it's called Smoke With Your Boy. You're live streaming right now and shit to an audience. I got a nice little crowd that follows me.
Out here, Smoke With Your Boy podcast, Art Science, teaming up with the Blend podcast. Shout out my boy Phoenix.
I worked the last game, we won, it was 2-4. Woo-hoo!
Shouts out to the Golden Knights, y'all.
It was crazy, the energy that was crazy.
And they chose you.
So happy.
That's what's up. It's a bunch of DJs that they could have chosen. They chose you, man.
That sounded like my buddy Art Science over there.
Hey, you know I'm in the building.
VIP is DJing for the Golden Knights.
Smoke With Your Boy podcast, we out here, comic shit, being nerds. Hey, let's go.
Edibles, flowers, that concentrate, smoke it up.
Smoke With Your Boy podcast. Green time. J
then I was sitting in my PJs, scratching soul records, feeling boom bad in my veins, refraining from the reckless of pissing upon the graves of legends that did it better than doing it today. You're pissing in the wind, young boy, that's not a wave. Hands up, don't shoot, nowadays get blown away. Kneel in the hate before they take away your pay.
We got the Bones from Postscripts. Shout out my brother from Campfire Music. I took it to Shane Stream's house. We had Skip Martin jump on and push on the keys to make the bass. He flipped some trumpet, some vocals, threw some effects on it. We had to stack the hook. It just took a group effort of so many talents. And I'm appreciative to everyone that helped put this song on.
I get savvy, Benz Navy, BM Caddy, with two baddies, Afghani that blow candy, faux family, poke niggas with gold Grammys, go gorilla, go kill your whole family, leave your son, so my children have enemies, death for dishonor, but torture you over loyalty, pardon me, make way for royalty.
Well, shit, that's Smoke With Your Boy podcast. Where do they? I know you're on YouTube. I know you're on Facebook. So where's this going down? Like your main? Where do you want them going to?
Easiest way to find any content is whatever app you open up. Just type in Smoke With Your Boy. That's SO.
We're actually it's up there, right there, right now. So
just look up right here.
That's it, baby. Production magic.
God, I am a fucking retard.
Nah, it's goody.
Shout out to all the smart people in the world that can do this shit without that.
But again, I like your format because it's not like every other podcast. You know what I mean? And the best thing is too is I'm working on getting audio distribution.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that was a huge thing because you can listen to a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping and mine's listenable. I'm hoping people realize I can drag them to YouTube. You know what I mean? Yours, like you got it. Like people got to go, oh shit, he's watching something. Like we got to go over there and peep it out. You know what I mean? Which is kind of what my ideas were with the segments because I'm like maybe if they start popping over and realizing, oh shit, wait a minute. I can watch these dudes talk, and the segments are like these live, like you got to be able to see them before you can actually, they're not so audio. So it's, but I dig your format. Like I said, so it's totally different from what anybody else is doing because it's a lot of reviews, a lot of reviewing, not even reviewing, but you're letting people know about some of this shit.
The audience right then and there. So even if you're just an audio listener that hears it 10 days from now, you feel like you're interacting with me in the present moment.
Yeah.
Like my girl will be like, sometimes I just think you're talking to me. You know what I'm saying? Because she'll hear the thing playing or she'll play it while she's driving. And she'll be like, those are conversations we've already had. Or, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm always bouncing ideas and just running or thinking about putting placements and stuff and discussing stuff with her. And then she hears it in the show. She's like, yeah, that's like, it fucks me up. Like, I'll be driving and just be like, Yeah. It's kind of funny. Yeah, I like about yours is the production aspect. You know what I'm saying? Like you being able to cut the pieces. Like that's what I want to be able to do for audio. I just don't have the patience and the time right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is to cut out all my shorten certain periods. And like I kind of do that now, but I don't spend nearly enough time on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I was even I like the visual concept. I like to be able to that you can watch someone being interviewed and all this. But like Rogan, like I said, you were talking about like Joe Rogan. I'm a big fan of Joe Rogan, Joey Diaz, all these guys. To watch, when you can watch Rogan talk and then they'll cut to the dude, and they're a live feed, so it's crazy to even know that they do that, but that's cool, you know what I mean? Because it really gives a different, it pulls you a different, instead of just having like you sit next to me on the couch in one angle and just kind of talking, even the audio recording was huge with me because like there's a lot of people that are just sitting there in a room talking and they'll be sitting over there and it's just sounds, it's like got that bathroom echo and it's just not, and that's what was huge in me. I would rather me have a non-visual and just a show with good audio than to have a visual show that I can't hear what the fuck you're talking about.
I'm working on trying to figure out how to get the audio placement and video placement, like going straight to YouTube Live. Mm-hmm. And also doing, SoundCloud, and having it hosted there, or even if not Spotify, and getting even to that extent, right?
Yeah.
And other podcasting platforms. But my biggest problem is the content I'm playing. some of those people.
And that's what I was gonna say. What you do is a little tricky because
Yeah.
you can have your
write
stuff
the
muted
line.
and pulled or
I
something.
fight on Facebook. I learned how to fight the first season. So this season, I'm winning the fight.
Okay.
They're not muting my shit half as much as they were in. I think I've had
That's good.
maybe 2 videos this season, and I'm at 25. I think last season by the end of it, because they passed a law in the middle of my season last year.
Yeah.
And it changed all the Facebook.
Oh, if it even
shit.
identifies it, like
Yeah.
like
Now,
my
all
mother
of that
can't
that
even.
you see now, yeah, exactly.
She can't even record the little one dancing when it's
You're getting
the
videos,
audio's.
old videos getting flagged now.
Wow.
Like I had a video from.
See, and that's kind of
like,
bullshit. You'd
yeah.
think those would be like grandfathered in kind of
something. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like I'm profiting from any of these. Check the view count.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like before you even send me an email.
Whatever.
Check the view count.
There's always got to be something.
Something.
Well, I don't want to get too far off since we just did kind of a year in review and stuff.
Yeah.
I just kind of wrote down some of the shit that we went on in hip hop throughout the year. I don't even know if any of it's really that relevant because I'm not going to read it if it isn't because there was a bunch of shit I do remember.
There's hella shit.
But
you
I
can
did
bring it up, and I know a lot of shit about it. Probably.
But you know what too, and after I get done reading some of the lists, I did notice a pattern here that was I didn't quite sit well with me. But I'll discuss that afterwards and stuff. But January 10th, 2018, Kevin Gates. Out of prison finally out of prison.
Yeah.
And I kind of like this guy. I like lyrics.
Yeah.
And that's my thing.
Yeah.
I think he's a hit or miss right now with me because everything's not so.
He's not set.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like, comparing Meek out of prison to Gates out of prison. You know what I'm saying? The presence there. There was no build for him. He probably got out, went out, did his normal thing, trying to get his money back. You know what I'm saying? Taking care of his family. He probably has a crazy, whatever parole or whatever situation and shit. And they're probably just riding his situation hard. So he had to lay low. It affected his music. So upon releasing, it didn't have the same energy. Yeah. And plus, he had a negative tone on leaving too.
I think Meek already had that push and was already kind of boiling when he went in anyways too, so coming out was
he had his rollout was him being inside. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody couldn't wait for music when Meek got out because they championed the idea of him coming out before the audience even received notice. You know what I'm saying? Like they were fighting for him to get out. So when they're out, why'd you want him out? I want music from him, of course. You know what I'm saying?
Because he only did
he delivered though.
He did 9 months out of a 30-month sentence.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So that's why I was kind of like.
That's why I said it's like a rollout.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, let's see what
you got to think about it. Nobody really liked him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He
true.
was clown. He was clown. He was. How many L's did he take at the beginning of the year? You know?
Yeah, too many. January 19th, Fredo Santana dies. But a seizure in Los Angeles.
Okay.
I don't even think he was that old either. Like he might have not. I think he was in his young 30s. Was he that old? I don't even think he was that.
That's
quite
really
that
not
old.
that old, but
still, I
want to say he's a few years older than like some of my big homies and shit.
Rick Ross hospitalized due to possible pneumonia on March 2nd. And that was probably the third or fourth time he's been hospitalized between all them seizures and.
I mean, the biggest part is like I've sat around millionaires in giant suites with mountains of coke, hookers, the whole nine going on.
Catching up.
And you're 60-something years old, right? But you ain't do that every day. You know what I'm saying? So a heart and a body that's out of shape off of an American diet that's probably shitty as fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For a majority of your life.
Shittiest in the world.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be pumping that full of top-notch drugs, having crazy ass experiences consistently. You get single again. You get in a relationship. You're doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like regardless, you're still gonna be going ham. You chilling with Puff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Puff goes ham. So
this is true. Lobster and steak all day.
Yeah.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. March 13th, we lost legendary Craig Mack.
Yeah.
I actually forgot about that until I wrote that fucker down today. I was like, man. And it makes sense.
There's so
many
artists that died from our generations that like we looked up to. You know what I'm saying? Like that. It's like, I mean, like I look at it like when a grandparent.
Well,
dies,
it's such a new
almost.
genre, like the hip hop genre, like that whole like rap and just that R&B, that whole like hip hop kind of thing is so new that this goes back to like me having the conversation 3-4 other times on the show. But like, you know, my dad was always like, you know, no one wants to see a 45, 50-year-old guy up there rapping. And I was thinking, like, it's because no one's really seen the 40. They're just now getting into 45s and 50s. And so, I mean, it's because we haven't seen that.
Well,
we don't have the Mick Jaggers. Right now, we're getting them.
The bigger part is, though our parents had, you know what I'm saying, rappers that they listened to, that's not all they listened to. The guys that really stood out were the leads of this band, the singer in this group. You know what I'm saying? Like these Grammy Award winners, not Curtis Blow, not Rakim.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not KRS-One. They listened to them on the radio, but they didn't win no Grammys. They weren't going to concerts, selling out stadiums.
This is true.
So that's why there was no 50-year-old rapper in our generation doing it at that level. But now we have J motherfucking Z.
Yeah.
I'm not a businessman. I'm a business man. You know what I'm saying? We have him to be like, yo, yeah, you should be rapping at 50. You're still introducing game.
For real.
You're still you're using your platform for what it should be, fighting injustice and saying fuck you to the other billionaires that you sit with. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have our support. You should be doing that. You know what I'm saying? And everybody that's riding your dick to get to where you're going should be learning those things.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're making multi-millions in music, I don't care if your music is garbage, you still should be doing things for your community, your city. You should still be educating people on your gram. You still should be, if not you should hashtag the motherfucker that is. Share that fucking meme.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Use those subconscious voices of those fucking fan pages.
Real talk.
I don't know. I'm on a fucking social media monster.
March 22nd, Jeezy announced his retirement.
Whatever. And then he put out a single over the summer.
Right after. That's what they all do.
With a single over the
I had
summer.
one I skipped too with Lloyd Banks announced his retirement March 16th and then retracts it the next day.
Yeah, I was going to say.
What the fuck, yo?
It's like, well, that was worse.
That's the new move.
No, that wasn't as worse. I don't know if rapper retirement, shout out to Joe Budden, rapper retirement earlier this year, I don't know if that was worse than Funkmaster Flex and all of his anti-Tupac rhetoric. Like, that was pretty bad. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It was a slow early year until Tekashi got hot.
Yeah.
Once Tekashi hit 6 for 6 or something like that,
sure,
4 for
man.
4 or something, whatever it was there, he just plateaued and just mowed. Nobody even wanted to troll.
Yeah.
The only person that could do it was 50, and then by the end of that, 50 had to write him.
Here's a good one. April 16th, Damn by Kendrick Lamar wins the Pulitzer Prize for music.
Pulitzer Prize.
It's
That's
the
crazy.
first time a non-jazz or classical song or artist has ever been
and then
nominated.
didn't what's his face? J. Cole win something around that same time.
You're right.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
I missed that. I don't even have that one. We already talked about Meek a little bit. April 24th, he came out. Offset hospitalized following a car accident in Atlanta on May 22nd. Here you go. Lil' Kim files for bankruptcy, owes $4 million June 9th.
Here's the thing.
Does that surprise you a little bit?
I'll explain this to you guys. Now, as a subsidiary company you create to either publish your music, manage your resources, or take ownership to your name, that will house a majority of your financial wealth, meaning your day-to-day money you would spend, your food, shit that you do, because you're writing all that shit off, you're paying a corporate credit card, you're doing all that. You yourself now, as a single solo artist, entity, human being, has to file taxes for this subsidiary company. Now, half of the people don't ever really pay a proper accountant when they get the money, or if they do, they don't follow through with the things that are put in place for them to pay. Because if you're making that much money off the jump, no matter how it comes in, you should already be paying your taxes before that, like at the mid-year. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, I'm gonna gross over, you know what I'm saying, 150K. So that's gonna be at least a good 35,000 in taxes. How many write-offs can I get? What am I doing? What charities can I donate? You're figuring out all of those things to create that.
This is where an accountant comes in nicely.
But the downfall is the company is doing that for themselves. This subsidiary that you have, that you own, that you're part of. But you yourself, as your name, your label, like that you're signed to, as that person, you're collecting checks, you're doing shows, you're getting all this hidden money. You're not reporting half of this. Somebody's reporting some of it though, especially the bigger the check.
Yeah.
You're getting these hidden bonuses. So after so many years, they're like, we want some money from you. Well, how do you get rid of your debt after you're like, you know what I'm saying? I found a way to hide my money from you guys for 5 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
well, you better be
I've been hot for 10 years. I've made so much money. I've been current. Now, this last few years, I'm like, fuck you. I don't want to give you guys no more money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm going to clear off my debt by hiding all my money in other people's pockets. And then declare bankruptcy, and I won't have no credit for 7 years. But I have so much money and I've accumulated so much wealth around me that now I just wiped off a $4 million debt for 7 years of my life, and I'm still going to be good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's different ways of beating the government.
Look at Trump.
How many times become president and just kill off everybody that got a problem with you. Shout out to Hillary Clinton.
All right, Double XL, June 12th, made some noise.
Yeah.
I remember this coming out.
They
released the Double XL's 11th annual freshman list. It included
I did a Dare Double XL.
Came in with Lil Pump, Trippie Redd, Ski Mask the Slumlord, Smoke Perp, Block Boy JB, and a bunch more of the mumble rappers and shit.
Check the link for my Dare Double XL above me.
Hey.
That's all I got to say about that. Like, you know, I ain't got no hate towards none of these artists. Half of these artists on this list, I play the younger version of themselves on my show regularly. The inexperienced, the not so polished, I just need a little bit of critique or a little bit of encouragement and I'll be better. It's because I don't know. And no big homie's going to tell me.
I mean, I respect the hustle and the grind. There's a reason why they're on that list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Music may not be for me. And that's one thing I've learned as I gotten older and humbled out some. You know, not everything's for you. You know what I mean? Like, people, I don't want to say I'm sick of hearing it. I am sick of hearing it. But everyone's always got this, like, I fucking hate this. I mean, and people, yeah, I mean, even like the newer hip-hop. You know what I mean? Because there's like, going back to Tekashi, I'm not a fan of this kid, but there's some tracks because I like that grimy fucking trap southern type shit. So there's some tracks I was just like, okay, I could, this kid goes. Yeah. But you gotta love his hustle. No one, the guy I can't shut the fuck up about him. This is like probably the 4th episode in a row we've mentioned him. He's all over the Facebook feed. He's all over the YouTube feed, but. They're doing it. So I mean, I can't really hate on anybody on the list.
I look at that whole scenario as far as the artists go. Every genre, so many different genres of music I'm a fan of. Yeah. Everything has its own appropriate moment. It all has its good like time to do that. When I was younger, I only wanted to hear one type of music, and I understood. Yeah. That's what I liked. Not that I was against soul, funk, R&B, top 40. I hated Diddy, but I knew every word to his songs because it was great marketing. I understood business, and I loved business, so I had to respect him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like I was a fan of his music, and I know his music. But in today's age, it's like, this is just another era of music, so there's going to be good and bad, but you got to remember the top selling artists in our genre are still dope ass lyricists, real MCs. Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, you know what I'm saying? Even Drake is on that list for that matter. You know what I'm saying? All these cats respect battle rap. All these cats are lyrical. They all write at a level, and they understand how to be an artist.
Yeah.
Songwriters.
Yeah.
That's not being an MC. That's not being a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Rappers is a role and a position to be played, and it's also used as a another type of word, whether it's noun, adjective, or whatever. It's also used as an action to do. You know what I'm saying? The verbation of rapping. You're speaking in lyrical form and sequence of music. You're rapping.
Yeah.
But then also as a rapper, you're just a job role now. That's not even like, that's like anybody can be in the Army.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But to be a Navy SEAL, to be an MC,
special breed, yeah.
To be an MC, you just have qualifications.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Real qualifications. So that's just a separation, but we can both be artists. You know what I'm saying? And I could be a rapper.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can be a rapper all day, and usually the best rappers are MCs.
True.
Jay-Z.
Very true.
T.I. You know what I'm saying? Jeezy. Like, if you want to go to the current state, like I just made that list right now, if you're going even less than that, a lot of the artists that I play, like, I play a large pocket out of LA, the underground scene. Shout out to like Dumbfounded, Satire, Reverie, Chase Moore in Central Cal with the whole 667, Immaculate is like one of the best MCs for my generation. And their music, when they make the vibey shit, fucking goes way better than, you know, some random kid that's making some trap music about a lifestyle he doesn't live, but he's putting the words together really well. He harmonizes. He knows the auto-tune keys to play that out really good on his computer. You know what I'm saying? Has no life experience, never toured, no music experience, but has a crazy fan base online.
Yeah.
Like, the substance in either song, when I play them, I can tell who's dope, who's better at the craft. You know what I'm saying? And your song is, to me, is better because of that. You know, it might not be so mind numbing, but at the same time, it's the same energy and vibe of today's genre. You know what I'm saying? Like, it all has that. I love playing. Like, before I thought it was a joke at the beginning of my thing. Like, I would do real MC shit, and then I started playing like some of like MC's most vibier songs. You know what I'm saying? Like, when, and then I started finding artists that are just really good at that, like Fora. Fucking phenomenal. He's about to blow up, like on, like, you know, the Trey Songz, Chris Brown type of level and shit like that, but his early music is raw MC stuff. You know what I'm saying? I just appreciate that. I don't know if you want to keep continuing.
Oh yeah, you can keep going. You're good. Shit, June 18th, XXX shot and killed in Florida. And you know, I was familiar with the kid more of like the IG and stuff because of the whole, you know,
social media made all of these kids famous to me.
But man, and that was the thing, was even this though, it was like, it was crazy to see the kind of impact that him getting shot and killed was, because I mean, people compared him to Pac. I would never do that, you know what I mean? But it was more the impact,
the wave.
Yeah.
There's something about the generation of today and able to be so accessible that they can take something and just flip what its intent and meaning is. And with that, like, it's no disrespect to the young or the older culture, but sometimes it comes out wrong that way. Like how Royce and Trey Songz, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's suck my dick shit. Like, you know, that's just that came out wrong. But in this situation, I feel like it for them, they can feel that way. That's the closest thing they would ever feel, and they want to feel so bad. This generation wants to feel so bad. Like, the people that listen to him, like, if you listen to their music, it's like empty. You know, like, and they want to feel a feeling of life so bad. So this was a moment for them to relate to a pinnacle point in society for them.
Yeah, this is true.
You know what I'm saying?
For
So
sure.
if they, because think about how it was like if we were like, yo, where was Kennedy? Where were you when Kennedy got shot? Where were you when Tupac got shot? How that old person's gonna feel. You know what I'm saying?
For
like,
real.
old white dude's gonna be like, you comparing Tupac to Kennedy? Yeah, my nigga. I'm comparing Tupac to Kennedy.
That's
what?
awesome.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's
awesome.
how. So then I don't see, like, that as a problem. Like, you know, it's just their perspective of it. But
That's a
when an
great
older
analogy,
nigga like
though.
myself starts saying some shit like that, I'm like, yo, what are you doing, son? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? It's crazy.
July 16th, Azalea Banks cancels upcoming album because of her appearance on Wildin' Out. Because
Yo, okay, so I
remember
followed that. I
That's
followed
funny
that,
as
and
fuck.
I wanted to. I wish I was doing my podcast. At
Man, I wish I could put the clip up here without getting worried about my shit getting
took him
pulled
down. Yeah,
man,
you could
that'd be
probably use
awesome.
the Instagram stuff
We'll
because
see.
it's so grainy. It doesn't pick up on the YouTube
We
read.
might. We'll see.
But so what happened there was the young lady is known for being a mean bully troll to people that she just deems are culture appropriating or just don't have the right to say what they're gonna say. So
Yeah.
she sticks up and she will some, like what I've seen, she went at a lot of people and it was just like I didn't see that her side of it. Let's just say. But I'm not
You're
one to
going
be
on
able to
to
speak.
Wildin' Out. Like
I'm not one to speak. No, I'm just talking about her background.
Oh, yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like, I'm not one to speak. So I know though that she's viewed this way at least.
Yeah.
And her going on to Wildin' Out, and she knows what they're about.
Gotta know.
I know what they're about. They hire battle rappers,
Yeah.
to insult you, and
a
they
roast.
get roasted. And you're known for roasting people on Twitter.
Yeah.
You're big for
There you
that.
go.
So you don't think they're
Well-
gonna go at you a little hard? And she cried like a little girl.
Yeah, she did.
She got her feelings
She even
hurt.
canceled her album. Come
Yeah.
on. That's awesome.
Yeah.
August 24th,
I was
Ghetto
a boy
Boys
for hip hop.
Ghetto Boys founder DJ Ready Red dies, heart attack, 53 years old. Man, it's one of my favorite groups. I was ever since high school. I was listening to them when I got to open up from Twice, baby. I was like a
There's a body being burned. That's what my. Oh, we're talking anyway. Ooh, what you know about the Ghetto Boys? They had that song, right? I don't know. I know you're too young for this, but they had this song where it was like Halloween, and you couldn't tell who was the villain in the story because he was such a gangster and he was seeing this demon coming after him. Or was it another gangster trying to kill him and another gang setting him up? Or was it his bitch? Or was it this little guy running in the dark with a machete? Like, what is going? But you got to be like 9.
Story was
I don't
great.
even know how old I was when I seen that, but that shit fucked me up for hip hop. Because that was one of the first real visual ones, because I was hearing a lot of like NWA at that time. But to see it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that was a crazy visual. Shout out to the music video.
September 6th, Young Thug charged with 8 felony-related drug and weapons possessions.
I give no fucks to any of
you
these
deserve
people
it.
that are getting time for drugs and weapons. I as a person that has suffered from this case personally, I don't have the money you have. There should be no reason that you're taking these charges.
Amen. For fucking real.
I had enough money to take the charges for me, my friend, pay his bail, get him out. You know what I'm saying? I took all the charges for the car. But there's no reason why you, Young Thug, you, Jules Santana, you, any other dumbass motherfucker will get caught in the airport with a gun.
For real. September 7th, rest in peace, Mac Miller dies of an overdose. Now this is an issue because this prescription shit.
Drugs.
Whether it's the syrup or whether it's them prescriptions. Whether it be the lean, whether it be the pills.
I'm
it's
saying
an
from
issue.
Jack's falling asleep on IG to like it's precedent. It's everybody know your name is Little Xan. Like it's no longer just like it's drug culture. It is, you are the culture of drugs now. Like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like, at one certain point that y'all ain't gonna be there, and the next piece, all the people that learn from y'all are gonna be so much smarter, and that's cool.
Well, speaking of Lil Xan, 6 days later, September 13th, he announced his retirement from rap because of Mac Miller's overdose.
Good.
Which was a good thing because I think maybe he fucking woke the fuck up.
Yeah,
Started
either that or
realizing-
he almost got beat the fuck up for saying nigga too much in the mall. God, man, what's wrong with you, bro?
Hey, they gotta learn somehow.
I guess.
At least it can be filmed. So
He just was like, he got too much hate mail. It's like, I can't handle this internet stuff. My mom's tripping. And started touching his face and his ink came off.
Man, October 29th, New Orleans rapper Young Greatness shot and killed. Dude, there's only one more. November 18th, Tekashi federal arrested by the
RICO
feds.
charges. So I'm going to educate you on this before we cut to the end of the year and shit. RICO charges. So they created this thing, this little umbrella, let's just say. And now there's a list of things that you and your friends can all do when you claim you're a gang, when you claim you're a crew, when you claim you're conglomerate or any one of these things
juggalos
that they can just prove that you're at the bottom line a gang, like a I can't even
by their description,
collusion,
yeah,
some shit like that. I can't pronounce right now, but all of that, when they can prove you and your friends do those things and you post them online and now you're acting like these guys and you talk about it and you leave trails, little breadcrumbs, and whenever the government wants, just say, oh, you raised your voice at me too much. You say anytime they want, they can just start grabbing all these fucking breadcrumbs and then slap your ass with a RICO charge and give you life, hella Fs, hella felonies. Felonies.
Yeah.
Like not just felonies, but felonies.
Shit that don't look so good on, looks good on paper, but well,
But
that's
you
what
don't have no
we were
money
talking
for
about
that shit.
That Tekashi shit. Like, so even if it was like a thing for like publicity, that's a hell of a gamble. Because what if he doesn't?
Yeah.
Make it.
Yeah, I don't think it's for a gamble. I think he just did too much. You feel me?
Yeah.
I think he just did too much for them, and they responded. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was like, all right, I'm done.
Well, they have to at some point.
I'm done playing with you.
They have to at some point.
Like, you 10 for 10. You're doing all of this. I'm done with you.
Yeah, well, like
I'm done with you. Like, you're doing too much.
Especially
like,
posting
if he would have just, because, like, that's the thing, right? Like, he also had enough money to start doing shit in Mexico. Like, he was doing good things. So, I don't know where in that lies from one to the other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if some of that political work was maybe anti, you know what I'm saying, American or something, or whatever it could have been, like, so because all of a sudden they just wanted him. They could have got him for a minute. Like, the shit they're charging him for is for a while ago. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
for real.
And on top of it, if they wanted him in prison just to be in prison, right? They could have just sent him to prison on the fucking molest shit and how many times he violated probation, right? Yeah. I'll tell you what, like, I was on probation and I couldn't be on the Instagram, anything like that. Like, I could be in locations, but I could not be in your picture with your alcohol and all of that shit. Like, my PO knew I worked the industry. He knew that's how I created a revenue stream.
He was watching.
So it's like, you can't even be in places unless you have that type of pass.
Yeah.
But once you have that type of pass, you can't even be acting that type of way. You know what I'm saying? He was on steps trying to fight people.
Yeah.
He was showing up on hoods. He was paying police officers to drive him around. Like,
matter of time.
Like, how do you drive? Wasn't he driving?
But again, that's the end of the list I got. But
yeah,
the thing I realized about the list, I even left
Kanye
maybe
out.
3 of them off or 4 of them was a lot of either overdosing or a lot of people getting shot. And this is seemed to be a problem too. Like,
I'll say my 3 or 4 that you missed was Joe Budden and everybody else that rebranded was big years. Battle rap had very big years. This was probably one of the bigger years in the last probably 5 years since, like, the whole Joe Budden and Hollow, like, that year had a big cap on battle rap. And this year, Eminem produced a movie called Bodied.
Yeah, that was a
big movie. For it released on YouTube, exclusive, won a bunch of awards. Events, big names came back, big battles. The dollar value has raised. The Smack You Alright Ral did an event in Las Vegas. That was big. B-boying on an international tip is at an all-time high. Shout out to Zoologic. Break Ninjas going to France. If you're trying to get your kid to learn how to break dance in Las Vegas, holla at your boy, holla at him. He'll plug you. He got the plugs too. We got the keys to the city, man.
That's it.
Well,
shit, man. And say we could be talking all goddamn night, but I'm not gonna keep you tied up too long, man. I'm honored you fucking came in, my dude, and I look forward to 2019 because it's gonna be a hell of a year for you as well as us. So
yes, definitely.
Can't wait to see.
We got some collabs coming.
Yeah, can't wait to see the moves you guys got going on. But again, Hip Hop Roots Podcast. Voicemail text line's always open, 775-538-6350. Hit the hiphoproots@gmail.com email if you want to be a guest, want to sponsor. Other than that, you guys have a safe New Year's. Happy New Year's to everybody. 2019 is going to be big, so here, I'll pop these for you guys here. You know how it goes. Go Knights, go.
Go Knights, go.
Live from Las Vegas, Art Science, Campfire Music. Nowadays I like to sit back and take my time. Instead of being on my grind, I like to live my life. I even think about my wrongs and rights so you can feel my long goodbye. I'm one of the first to do it, better to do it, I'm making it last. That's why I sit here, chill, I watch and I laugh. Make me wanna take it back, cause what these rappers lack. Raising their hand in class and asking what's a pen and pad. I only do this to screw heads and put it on for my city. A couple benchies and some Irish whiskey. Plus the fact that the fans is vibing with me. Make the party go crack like Bobby and Whitney. First take a selfie and show the world that you happy. I'm double tapping and following back. If you follow me, I'm charismatically crafting a medley for these rappers that really rap or wanna be MCs.
Back in the day when I was young and not a kid anymore, but some days just sit and wish I was a kid again.